Frank Turner and I'm a Trabolmeicher. We have a tour in September and then that's pretty much us done with the road for this year, which is a really weird thing for me to say.
Yeah?
Because I usually tour all the time. But we're going to be in the studio for quite a while.
Okay.
In October and November, making a new record. So it's not like I'm not going to be doing anything, but it's just kind of, it's been quite a long time since I've like not really had quite a lot of shows in the diary coming up, so I feel a bit weird about it. But
okay.
It's good.
Okay.
We've been recording, we've been demoing and rehearsing new songs, so I haven't actually, I mean I've seen Hamburg before, I've been around the city, but like this time around I haven't really done anything other than just been playing music, which is great, but yeah, I haven't been doing the tourist thing.
Just give me one fine day of plain sailing weather and I can fuck up anything.
Well, I mean I write autobiographically, you know, so like I mean things that happen in my life affect the music that I make and the words that I write and stuff. I think that Tape Deck Heart was a really kind of dark and introspective record, you know, very sort of personal kind of thing. And looking back on it now, I sort of feel like it was a record I really needed to make to get out of my system kind of thing. I don't want to do it down, I like it as a record, I think it's a good record, but like the new stuff that I have, it's almost quite liberating to write about kind of happy stuff. I mean, maybe not happy stuff, but you know, just sort of like to, instead of, because Tape Deck Heart's so kind of looking inwards kind of thing, and to look outwards a little more and be a bit more positive is a good thing.
So you'd say it's more a beat?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
It's kind of posicool record.
Emily lied to me. This was supposed to be easy.
Well, I mean, we play where people want us to play generally, and I mean, Germany's the biggest music market in Europe. There's more people here who come to shows than there are in other countries. That doesn't mean that they're qualitatively better than anybody else or anything like that, obviously. But yeah, there's just a lot of touring to be done here, you know. I mean, I enjoy Germany. The crowds here are generally pretty good. I'm always kind of... The music I make is quite lyrically based, and German people generally speak pretty good English kind of thing, which helps. Again, that's not the only reason to go and play somewhere, but like that can help. But I mean, yeah, I'm not picky about my audience, if you see what I mean. I don't think one group of people is better than any other group of people. If people want to see a show, then I want to play a show, you know.
Cool.
Let's inherit the earth, because no one else is taking it. Come on, do your worst.
We haven't really had to cancel too many shows. I mean, I hate cancelling shows. It's the worst thing in the fucking world, letting people down. I guess, I mean, we nearly had to cancel a show the other day in Germany because about 5 minutes before we went on, like, the most insanely heavy rainstorm I think I've ever seen in my life started. But it only lasted 5 minutes. And it was kind of weird because, like, then it stopped and we'd all thought, well, fuck it, we can't play. Because they'd evacuated the stage and everything. And then they were like, right, on you go. And we were like, oh shit.
Okay.
So that was weird. I mean, we had to cancel some shows last year because I injured my back pretty badly, and that sucked a lot because it fucking hurt actually. And yeah, so I mean, you know, I've had to cancel shows here and there because I've had a bad throat or whatever or something like that. But generally speaking, I mean, I've probably not cancelled more than like 5 shows.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
There are definitely days when it can get tough, yeah. I mean, certainly last year, 2013, was easily the toughest year on the road that I've ever had. I mean, it's not like I was touring light before that, but last year they really, with Tape Deck Heart coming out, the record label and management and everybody, the pressure was really intense, and in December when we kind of got home for Christmas last year, like everyone was kind of like, fuck this, a little bit, you know. But I mean, you know, anybody who does anything for a living has shitty days. Do you know what I mean? I mean, and you get an awful lot more shitty days if you work in an office doing something you hate. So I'm not going to complain. I mean, this year's been pretty easy by my standards, to be honest. Like, you know, I've had a month. I had a month off in. Kind of had a month off in January, and I had a month off in like April as well. So, you know, I've had some time here and there. To chill out. I think next year we'll kind of ramp up again, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not 23 years old anymore, and it makes a difference actually. Like, it's yeah. I mean, I was looking through some old tour schedules the other day, and like, I mean, there was a time we used to do 24 shows in a row without a day off, and there is no way I could do that right now. Like, more than about 6 shows in a row without a day off now kind of gets to me. And back then I could do fucking anything, but that's because I was 23. So why are you sat at home? You're not decided. Yeah, you know, I can't say that I'm that kind of up to speed with Blink as a band, but I got their first couple of records when they came out. I think Dude Ranch is a great record. I think, I mean, this is going to make me sound, there's no way I can say this not sound like a hipster punk, but I prefer them when they're a bit faster and a bit kind of rawer, you know. But, I mean, like you say, I think that there's a really important place for those kind of bands. I mean, my personal kind of gateway bands for punk rock was more kind of Green Day and Offspring. I mean, I love Blink, but like, and you know, and I remember being kind of 13, 14, 15 and being really into the Offspring, and then kind of older punks being a bit like, oh fuck the Offspring kind of thing, and it would be kind of easy for me to say something similar about Blink-182, but I think that's a bullshit attitude, because nobody wakes up in the morning and buys a Black Flag album having not ever listened to punk rock before. That's not what happens. There have to be gateway bands that get you into it, and I'm happy they exist, because I wouldn't know what punk rock was otherwise.
Okay.
I think music can change individuals and change viewpoints. The idea that music sort of has grand historical effects is pretty silly to me. I mean, you know, Bob Dylan didn't make things happen in the 60s. Bob Dylan commented on what was happening in the 60s, and that's a valid and interesting thing. But, you know, the civil rights movement didn't happen because Bob Dylan wrote Blowing in the Wind, and if you think it did, then you don't know what you're talking about. It's, you know, culture is a form of commentary. I don't know, I mean, the older I get, the less comfortable I am with the idea of wanting to change the world, because I think that there's something enormously presumptuous about saying you want to change the world, because unless you've gone out and asked everybody's opinion about it, do you know what I mean? It's like, I want to change the world to the way I want it to be. Really? Well, what if other people disagree with you? And it's like we have an imperfect way of dealing with this, which is called democracy, but there's something kind of slightly immature and facetious about kind of standing on the sidelines shouting revolution. If you want to change the world, you know what, go and stand for Parliament and be an elected democratic representative. That's how that shit works, okay? And it's boring, and it means you have to compromise with a lot of people you disagree with, and it means you have to fucking shake a lot of babies and kiss a lot of hands, whatever the fuck it is. But that's what you have to do to engage with the entire population. Standing on the corner of a punk scene talking to people who are the same age as you, who generally have the same views as you, shouting revolution, doesn't constitute political action. And it's grandstanding, it's showing off. And I mean, if it keeps you happy, then fucking go for it. But personally, like, I'd like to think I have a slightly more mature and realistic view of what constitutes politics. Well, okay, I'm passionate about it. The first thing is I want to be realistic about it, and running small venues is never going to make anybody a millionaire, and a lot of them close and a lot of new ones open, and there's a lot of changeover, and that's just the way it is. So, you know, I don't want to be one of those people who's constantly kind of upset because things are changing. I mean, things change, but you know, you have to have, regardless of how it's what makes it up, you have to have a vibrant underground scene in order to have decent bands at a bigger level. The bigger level will exist without the underground, but if you don't have the underground, it will just be Simon Cowell and X Factor and shit. If you want to have, I don't even want to talk about myself. If you want to have bands like Biffy Clyro, or let's say Foo Fighters and Nirvana, or whatever, at a bigger level, then you have to have the underground as well. And I certainly came up through that. And then in America, I still play a lot of underground venues. And fuck it, in the UK, I still play underground venues when I can, because it's fun.
Okay.
And it's my culture, you know, underground music. I love it. That's what I grew up with. It's what I care about. As far as the O2 thing goes, I have mixed feelings about it. I mean, on the one hand, I'm kind of naturally suspicious of kind of large corporate chains and that kind of thing. At the same time, though, if there's a company that's pouring money into live music venues existing, and the only cost that you have to pay as a consumer is that you have to drink one type of beer or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's less
a good compromise.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know? I would rather the venues exist and then you have to drink Tuborg or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than not having any venues.
Okay.
You know, and so I think you have to kind of to weigh up what's important. That's a good question. Actually, one of my favourite venues and places to play used to be in Hamburg, but it just fell down.
Which was it?
There's a place called Molotov.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, the ceiling fell in. It's gone. The whole building fell down.
Sucks.
Apparently, it started falling down when people were in there for a show. It's
shit.
Fucking crazy shit. I like that place. I mean, the underground in Cologne's really cool. Let me think of that's a good question. I feel like I should have prepared more for this. And I shouldn't just... Oh yeah, the PPC in Graz is great. Graz in Austria.
Yeah.
I love that place. I love it down there.
To keep themselves and to themselves, to fight the rising tide that have been the
I'd probably be way better at the guitar. Actually, that's funny you should ask that today. Do you know Corey Brannon? Singer called Corey Brannon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
he just released a record.
Yeah, his new record came out yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's a fucking genius, that guy, and I don't understand why he isn't the biggest fucking hit in the world. And his new record is called The No Hit Wonder. You know, I mean, the guy he has a sense of humor, but he's from Memphis, Tennessee, and just the way he plays guitar, and he just has that kind of understanding of country, which I think you can only get from being born in Tennessee, kind of thing. I mostly listen to country music. I love country music, but like, there's something about the way he just effortlessly moves through it that makes me kind of go,
When they raise their hands.
About X.
As eggs, as eggs is the word she can lay, yeah.
Oh right, sorry, I thought you meant like the old punk band.
Many bands actually understand that.
Okay, alright, what do I think about eggs? Eggs are cool. You know, okay, I can't cook, like, at all. I'm fucking terrible at cooking. But I can cook two things. This pasta dish I know how to cook, but also scrambled eggs. I can make the best hangover cure in the world. My older sister taught me how to make it. There's a secret, which is that you put in 2 eggs for each person, and then as much butter as the size of your hangover, up to a whole pack for one person, and then you just mix it up for fucking ages, and then you get scrambled eggs. And if there is no hangover in this world that can't be cured by that recipe.
I'll try it.
Yeah, eggs are cool.
Days that used to take a lot.